What the hell is wrong with me?
Now, I know a lot of you guys are gonna come at me saying,
bro, why are you tripping? These fragrances are good. I love these fragrances. You shouldn't care. You should just wear them because they smell good, even though they're basic or simple.
I get it. But I stand pretty firm with my beliefs about fragrances in terms of just what I wear, what I enjoy, and what I share with you guys. And as many of you already know, I do like to try to actively avoid some of the basic stuff, some of the simple stuff, and we have a little bit of that in here, but we also have some other stuff that I would not consider basic or simple, but just really weird and unusual. And I don't know why I like it, but I like it, that kind of stuff. Guilty pleasures, so to speak. And also we're dealing with some cologne-like fragrances, which again, I do speak actively saying I don't really care for clones that much, but some of them, I just like them. So we have 5 fragrances to talk about. So let's talk about them. Cheapest fragrance in this video, maybe one of the cheapest fragrances I have in my collection. And I first put this on my skin and it was kind of what I expected. It was super sharp, super synthetic. It definitely smelled cheap. But as it sat on my skin and like 7 or 8 hours in when it was still there, it's like, why do I like this stuff? When it settles, it smells pretty dang good. This is from Paris Hilton.
Looks like a freaking body spray.
So cheap looking. This is just Paris Hilton for Men. I know a lot of you guys have spoken about this one. I see some talk about it. I see it's kind of like a hidden gem cheapie. I do applaud them for making this a little bit different from the norm. It still smells pretty easy to wear, borderline basic bro, but with some elements that are a little unusual. Fig leaf, smells like cucumbers. It smells like fresh, crisp cucumbers with a little bit of a tropical fruity sweetness. Very, very nice for the summertime, easy to wear, fresh, bright. And on my skin, because I think there's so many synthetics in here, it lasts a good little while. If you're trying to impress people, I don't know if this is gonna do it, but you're definitely gonna be pleasant. And if you are looking for a cheap freshie that is a little bit different, I can recommend checking this one out. I don't know if I could say go blind by it, even though it's so cheap, because it's nothing special, but it's just way better than I was expecting. Paris Hilton for Men. What is going on with me?
This is weird.
All right, this next one up is gonna give me a ton of hate because I know a lot of people like this fragrance. And the reason why it's in this video is because I like this fragrance. But this is the basicest, broiest bro fragrance to me, in my experience, and I'll tell you why. But it smells good. YSLY, the original Eau de Toilette. Easy to wear blue fragrance, fresh, kind of has an appley feel, woody, very almost shower gel-like. Good stuff, solid, dumb reach kind of fragrance. But here's my problem with it, and this is purely associative. Few people know this, but I actually used to work at a local department store as what they call a fragrance model, where I would stand in front of the counter. I didn't work for the store, but I worked for, let's just say, a company that deals with a certain collection of fragrances that the store sells. So my job is I stand in front of the counter and I try to direct the passing customers to very particular fragrance brands in the store that again are affiliated with this company that I'm working with. Some of you might already know what company this is. I'm not gonna say it out loud, but if you know the fragrance industry with the designer realm, then you probably know who this is. But one of my jobs was to sell this fragrance along with many. And I sold a lot of them. In fact, I didn't really sell them, they sold themselves. It's a good smelling fragrance, especially to the average person, but the dudes that would come in and smell this and walk away with it are some of the douchiest, broiest dudes I've ever come in contact with as a human being. It was kind of appalling. I couldn't bear to have a conversation with them. They're just kind of unintelligent. They're just talking about how much beer they drank the night before. They're talking about all the tail they get. You know, some guys are buying their second bottle of it saying like, oh, my first bottle, man, I got so many girls. It's like,
cool.
I get that, but just classless dudes. So unfortunately, I associate the scent of this fragrance with people like that. Now, before you get in the comments all mad and typing up hate mail, I want you to just remember that this is my experience. I'm not imposing this upon you. If you love the fragrance, wear it. That's all I gotta say. Why so why? But I like it.
It's weird.
This fragrance here is a complete hype beast. I held off on smelling it for a very long time until I blind bought it. A couple months ago, I did a live stream of me unboxing it and giving my first impressions. And on that live stream, you'll see in my face and in my voice how much it surprised me On my skin, it smelled way more cohesive than I thought it would, way less scratchy and synthetic than I thought it would. The overall profile is pretty basic, but the composition itself was a little bit higher quality than I thought it would be. And we're talking about Hawas from Musashi. I like this stuff. I do like it. It is a strong contender for what it's setting out to do. A sweet, fresh aquatic that is very powerful, that gets attention, that will get compliments. It smells youthful, it's kind of versatile. It's all of those things all in one. It doesn't scratch my itch in terms of an interesting fragrance that I want to wear, that I want to smell all day. I don't want to smell this all day. It smells great for the first hour or two, doesn't really change on my skin, and again, it is a strong one. So after that, I'm done with it. I'm ready for something different. It just doesn't change. I don't care how many people like it. As I pass them, I'm bored. Can't deny that it's a good smelling fragrance. Guilty pleasure for sure. Hawas from Rasai. But unfortunately, Grace does not like this fragrance. It kind of made her sick. Because of what I talked about, it just persisted and persisted. After a few hours, she was also like, this is kind of disgusting. Even though at first she's like, it was nice. So anyway, take it as you will, wear it if you love it. All right, this next fragrance is on this list because it's a weird scent. As I alluded to earlier,
Jesus Christ.
wow, I don't know why I love this stuff, but at the same time, I'm afraid to wear it because of how weird it is. I just don't know what people are gonna think. I wear it myself at home, but out in public, I don't wanna give the wrong idea. This is Cannabis Blue from Fragrance du Bois. Definitely smells like cannabis to me. That kind of sour, earthy, herbal quality, not really smoky or anything like that, but from the earth, pungent cannabis leaf. But there's a little bit of a smoothness in here, maybe a slight creamy sweetness and some oud back there, and there's definitely some other elements at play, but I mostly get the reefer. But I can't stop smelling it, and I don't care for marijuana. I don't smoke it, I don't care for it, it has nothing to do with my life. But I like the smell of this stuff, and I can't really explain why. I can't stop coming back to it. So one day I'll get more comfortable wearing it out. I think it can be very elegant depending on how you wear it. Don't spray too much, wear it in dark colors, wear it more elegantly. I think it'll work well. I'm telling this to myself. This is my advice to me, trying to boost myself up, trying to give myself confidence. Anyway, do check it out if this sounds interesting to you for some odd reason. But I can't deny it's unique and you might just like it. And the final fragrance on this list is essentially a clone. A lot of people will say clone is a severe word. I agree with that, but I'm just trying to call the spade what it is. It is very clear what the intention of this fragrance is. Sahara Blue from Moresque. Now, this fragrance was provided to me by my friends at MaxAroma, whom, as you probably already know, is a fantastic source of discounted niche and designer fragrances. You can even get decants from them. You don't need me to really endorse them. They speak for themselves. Their catalog is massive and it speaks for itself, but they've been really good friends to me over the past year or so. They've sent me a few fragrances, so I want to showcase them, send some traffic their way. Again, you probably already shop with them, so go shop more with them. Anyway, they sent me this one. At first, I was disappointed when I smelled this. I sprayed it on my hand and I was like,
no, not another one.
Not another one. You probably know what I'm talking about. Creed Aventus. This is inspired by Creed Aventus, but as it sat on my skin, I couldn't stop smelling it, and I realized I like this more than Creed Aventus. At least my current bottles. I have 2 bottles of Aventus, and I like this more than both of them. They're both different too, but this is just superior. This is an instance where the clone outshines the original, at least in my opinion. This is a great quality scent for one. You're getting great performance, you're getting a great smelling composition. It does smell citrusy, it smells a little bit fruity, it's a little bit oak mossy, but there's this sweeter element to this, almost like candy, that I find intoxicating as it sits on my skin. It's sweeter than Aventus, but not in a fruitier way. It's like a hard lemon candy that's sweet. That might sound odd, but it's really, really pleasant, and I find it just better than Aventus. It just takes one aspect of Aventus and it kind of elevates it and then turns it on its head into something else. But it goes with my taste. I can't explain it. I can endorse it, at least sampling though. Unfortunately, this fragrance is absurdly expensive for a full bottle. If you can get a sample of it. It's very expensive. I already told you, you've been warned. Don't come at me saying, why are you talking about such expensive fragrances? I've told you, you have a choice. But if you're gonna check out the House of Moresque, and I know MaxAroma carries a lot of them, do put Sahara Blue on your list if you're looking for an Aventus-inspired fragrance that you might like more. Well, that was fun, right? We had fun, right? I wanna know what you guys think of these fragrances if you've tried them down below. Let's talk about it down in the comments. And thank you so much for tuning in. Peace. I'll see you in the next one.